Boa noite, boa noite. I would like now to introduce a very special gentleman, one of our favorite Brazilians here, who's been very critical, a critical part of Worldfund for many, many years. Not on the board, in the backstage, but a person who's helped us with honorees over the years, including this year, and a person who has helped us with strategic advice as well over the years. This gentleman has been with the IDB and has had a finance background, and he's a wonderful friend of our honoree tonight, Carlos Guimarães. I welcome you.
Thank you, Kelly, for your very kind words. It's been a privilege to have been associated with Worldfund for so many years and have had the opportunity to witness the incredible achievements that you've all have made. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am extremely honored to have been asked to introduce this year's Education Leadership Award recipient, Fábio Barbosa, an extraordinary individual and a very dear friend. I have had the opportunity to witness Fábio's inspirational leadership in business and education throughout my whole professional life in numerous instances where our paths have crossed. Fábio values friendship very deeply, and a number of you today have traveled very far to be with him during this occasion. Fábio believes that it's your presence throughout the years that have contributed to the person that he is today. And I feel that I am speaking on behalf of all of you. Fábio's focus on education started a long time ago with a small school in his farm in Pinhal, a small city in the interior of São Paulo. And this, in fact, became a family project. From there, and as he says, you first help those around you to then amplify your horizons. From there, it just went on, and went on to the creation of Projeto Escola Brasil, mobilizing more than 2,000 volunteers per year in public schools, to numerous other projects, including education, a commitment of the state of São Paulo, which in fact is being led by a past Worldfund honoree, which is present here today, Ana Maria Diniz. Currently, Fábio is the vice president of the board of Itaú Social, which is primarily focused on lower school education, as well as a member of the boards of several entities which support education from different angles, including Fundação Maria Cecília Souto Vidigal, Ensina Brasil, INSPER, and Instituto Ayrton Senna. We are recognizing Fábio today not only for his numerous accomplishments, but more for the way in which he has achieved these accomplishments. And this has made all the difference. Fábio deeply believes that we have to embody the changes that we want to see happen in the world. Albert Schweitzer, the French-German philosopher, said that example is not the main thing influencing others. It is the only thing. And yours, Fábio, is a powerful one. Numerous people reach great heights in life. In fact, more than you, my friend. But very few have reached them with the sense of purpose that you have. You have always believed and said that you wanted to build a better world for our children and better children for the world. This is in fact how you have lived your life, and this is what we are all applauding today. Ladies and gentlemen, Fábio Barbosa.
I have a difficult time here to live up to what Guimarães set up. Thank you, Carlos, very much for your very generous words. Thank you, World Economic Forum, Dwayne, Kelly, for all the attention and for having honored me this night. And I would like also to extend to some people which are inspiring me in this new journey on education, which is Ana Diniz, Jair Ribeiro, which I cannot see where he is. Ana is here, Jair is somewhere. And Luis Felipe Dávila, also here. I cannot see, I have the light here. But Luis Felipe Dávila and also Marcos, which is not here tonight, Marcos Lederman, Marcos Magalhães. I mean, these are the people which inspired me to get into this focus on education. And I want to highlight. I'll be brief here, but I'll be talking about two things. First, I'll talk about conceptually, why am I involved in education? And then I'll talk a little bit, because I cannot spare this moment here, talk a little bit about Brazil. But I'll be brief. Why education? I always had in mind 3 reasons why I wanted to engage in education. Number 1 is because for any society, if there is one goal, is to make sure that you guarantee that each one of its citizens has the right to fight for an opportunity to live with dignity. And I think in my country, and I don't want to talk about other countries, in my country we fail on that. So we have to correct that, number 1. Number 2 is still on education. We have a very unequal distribution of income in Brazil, which worries me a lot. But more than that, what worries me is the reason why we have an equal distribution of income in Brazil, which is an equal distribution of education. Either we sort this out, or we'll never be able to come to a society which has a good income distribution. And thirdly, because I understood that we have to have the mobilization of people. Education is not to be left to the state to do or to other people. It has to be done by the entire society. Each one contributing, of course, the government, the private sector, civil society, individuals, families, everybody has to be mobilized for us to get education running. So that's basically what I think I should be doing now, devoting my time to education. And this recognition, I should say, is an incentive for me to continue on that and doing more and more on education. Now, it's a difficult moment in Brazil, so I have to talk a little bit. And what I want to say is that I think Brazil is actually bravely cleaning up the environment. I mean, we are taking very serious steps to clean up something which has always been there in corruption. And I think the tolerance that we had that's the problem that we have to be fighting. And I'm very proud of seeing that we believe that if we want to build a country, we have to build it on solid grounds. We cannot build it just on fragile, that's the way it is, that things have always been. We have to be very firm on what we believe are the right values, the right principles for a country to be built on. So we have to be fighting on reforms, and Felipe is here always fighting for that, economic reforms, and as we all know, we need reforms of various natures in Brazil. But if we don't have a reform of values, this is not going to go anywhere. And the reform of values, it starts not in the Congress, but with our day-to-day attitude. Now, how can I reconcile these two things? I spoke about education, and I spoke about the country and values. Of course, they are totally connected. Education is not only about knowledge. It's about values, it's about principles. That's what a full education is all about. And it's not only up to professors or to family, civil servants, society as a whole to do it. It's actually to be done by each one of us. I love Ralph Emerson's statement. He says that your attitude speaks so loud that I cannot hear what you say. That was a little bit what Carlos was saying in his speech here. It's the attitude, it's what you do on the day-to-day. We need reference, we need examples of people which do things right, because that speaks loudly. Education is also about setting principles, setting a reference that you can succeed doing the right things the right way. Now, I'm optimistic. Shall I be optimistic? I am optimistic for 2 reasons. Number 1, because I see Brazil addressing 2 issues that we have not addressed to the extent that we're addressing now, which is education and values. I had never seen before such a commitment that we have a society mobilized on education, as you very well know, but also on values, as certainly get here and there. You can see the half glass full or the half glass empty. I can see the half glass full. We are addressing issues that we never addressed before. So I'm very proud for that. Number two, this is because, as Guimarães was saying here, I normally say that if my generation did not leave a better country for our children, we are leaving better children for our country. They have more consciousness from an ethical perspective, social perspectives, environmental perspective that my generation did not have. So I'm very hopeful that what we're going to have in the future is something very different. So for me, and I want to end here, not make it long, it's a privilege to be living in this moment in Brazil and have the privilege to contribute to this country through values, through education, to make this country a better country. That's the moment. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.